Hello. Welcome in, everyone. Especially Apple, that is right there.
Yes. Came along for the ride.
How's everyone doing? I'm not a redhead anymore.
That's the same thing.
No.
Yes, it is. I am a redhead.
It was so red before. It was like closer to the thing than it is to this.
Mm.
A Sippy! Hello, Ram! Welcome in. It do be warm, yes. You're correct.
Nice and temperate.
In here, yes.
It's
Outside,
not too bad.
I think the outside is actually quite warm. But because I didn't open anything, it should stay nice.
You opened your Windows. Windows 11.
Is it one of those days today? Are we starting already?
Yes.
So, how's everyone doing?
Doing well. How about you?
I'm okay.
Good.
I had a really good breakfast.
Hell yeah.
I made it myself.
Egg and bacon and beans.
Beans.
Oh, so good.
It was really good. I love bacon.
I love English breakfast.
Yes.
It's so good.
This was only like half-assed English breakfast. We were missing a bunch of elements for the actual English.
For an actual English breakfast, you would need mushrooms and sausages and
Tomatoes.
which I'll gonna get eaten up to other people's plates for me.
To mine.
Likely or apple.
Yeah.
What else? Orange
Black
juice and toast.
Blood pudding.
Oh.
That is it, right?
Yeah.
Or is it the other one?
No, it's blood pudding. Freaking
Haggis.
yes.
That's also a thing.
No.
But that's not for...
That's a dinner.
Oh, I didn't know. I wasn't sure. I've never had blood pudding. I don't think I'd like it.
No. You probably wouldn't. Because it tastes like blood.
No, then I wouldn't know.
And it looks like a hockey puck.
Yeah, I knew that. It's also almost black.
Yes.
Fair.
To be fair, it is called black pudding.
Yeah. That's fair. But it's blood. Blood is red. Or blue. Or red.
No, it's...
Purple?
Basically, yes. It's a very dark color because it's dried.
Yes.
So it turns it into black pudding.
Yes.
It's not good.
I wouldn't...
Haggis is also not good.
Yeah, it doesn't sound very nice. It's something about stomachs and stuff.
No, it's intestines with spices inside as well.
Well, that is the stomach, so I was technically
Yes,
correct.
but not stomachs.
Okay, fair.
Mm-hmm.
Fine.
Mm-hmm. It's a sheep stomach.
Hi!
Hello!
Welcome in!
It also, when you make it in a pan, it looks like beach sand. It does smell really good because it smells like the spices and a little bit of meat. So
Fair.
it smells really good, and then you look at it, it's like, this is a sandcastle.
And if you look at it, you're like, I know what is in this. No,
Exactly.
to be fair, I would try anything. I'm a very, very easy eater. I will eat anything. I'll try everything.
For me, it depends.
Fair.
I'll try many things, even things that I expect not to like, except for intestine meat. I will not eat intestines. I am not for that shit.
Fair. Yeah, yeah, you know exactly what you like and won't stray from it. That's a lazy
it's a
eater.
short list. It's just a short list of things that you like.
There's two ways of being an easy eater. Knowing exactly what you like and don't stray from it, or like everything and be fine with most things.
Exactly.
Honestly, I'd rather eat haggis any other day over balut. Yeah, no, the duck egg thing, 1,000-year egg or something.
Oh, no.
That's a baby in an egg.
No.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. It's I think a duck egg that still has a creature in it at a certain point, and then it's boiled for X amount of time, left for X amount of time. It sounds like a magic card. It's like you need to do X for so much.
It does. It does sound like a magic card.
And yes, it does also sound disgusting. It's not okay. Balut does not sound appealing to me. You knew it.
There you go.
I'm glad I grabbed it anyway.
Now he's with us anyway.
The Filipino specialty. Yes. Speciality. Either right words. Specialty. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Or surströmming.
That's the herring. Fermented herring, yeah. That's the thing that the guy in Scorpion eats. Walter O'Brien. He loves it.
That sounds like his problem.
Yeah. And his date's problem.
Oh. Oh. Yeah.
Apple might remember. I think she watched some of it at least. It apparently improves brain power, and the guy has an IQ of 170 something. Thank you so much! Wow! That's a lot of squishies. Yay! Thank you. But yeah, apparently it's supposed to improve brain power. So aside from the fact that he has 100 something IQ, like the highest of 5 people in the world or something, he's like, I need to eat this to keep my brain power correct.
Well, so much for that IQ, I guess. Kind of just means how much IQ actually measures. So if you think those things work. I
mean, there are things that will improve certain things in your body. Like vitamins will have a certain effect to your body.
Yes, to a certain effect.
Yeah.
Very much.
In his case, it's most likely has something to do with the fact that it will keep neurons firing. I don't know.
You know what also keeps neurons firing?
Breathing?
Energy drinks.
Okay.
Breathing, also, yes.
It's very useful to do. Energy drink?
It's more the other way around. Where neurons will stop firing if you stop breathing.
Yes,
so.
Also, see, you're not supposed to eat the surströmming whole. Just like you're not supposed to just chop down on a wild, whole spicy pepper, or better yet, Vegemite. Yeah. It also melts the brain. Yeah, apparently.
Just over time, the more surströmming you eat, the more your brain turns into it. And at some point, the consumers of surströmming become more surströmming for other people.
I actually think I might like Vegemite.
It is not good.
Oh yeah, the energy will definitely melt my brain.
Oh.
That's fair.
Yeah.
It may have already done so, don't worry about it. It's fine.
It'll speed up the neurons firing, and then it'll slow down. But yeah, I've had Marmite. It's not.
This is fine.
This is fine.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Marmite is not good.
I probably would like it if I eat it the correct way. On a little bit of toast, very thinly spread.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't.
Very thinly spread, said the British person to me when she threw on a fucking spoonful. I was like, here's a cracker. There's a dollop.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, no. No, it's not good.
Fair.
It also looks like chocolate paste.
Yes.
And then you take a bite and it's, oh, that's salty.
Yes.
Oh, that's bitter.
So the reason I think I like it is because it's supposed to be akin to licorice, not the flavor, but the type.
I wish.
You like licorice.
I like licorice.
Yeah, that.
It is not good.
I mean, I would still try it, but I wouldn't buy a thing for it. Unless I get like a single packet used, like a very tiny thing, I might be able to try it, but I wouldn't buy a whole jar for it.
It's not good.
That's a disappointment.
Yes. It looked really good, and I expected I would like it, because it's salty and stuff.
Yeah.
But no, it's very intense.
Is it then yeasty? Because that's also something I've heard.
Well, I wouldn't know what yeast on its own tastes like.
Well, most people like associate it with the smell of yeast to what you might assume that it tastes like.
That is not how it tastes.
Okay, that helps actually.
Yes.
That would probably make it more likely that I will actually try it. Because if you had said yes, then I probably wouldn't have tried. Frodo! Hey, Frodo! Make sticker thicker. Aw, but Sticker's laying so cutely on the couch with Apple. Do I have to? Okay, fine. Jingle it.
Immediately his head pops up.
This side. Good boy. Come on. Sticker. Squish. Hey, moron.
Where are you? What are you waiting for?
He's sitting at that side of the table.
Hey, Momo.
Come on.
Oh, you like the shirt? Thanks, man. Here you go.
Oh boy, that's someone else's hand. I need to sniff this first.
Yes. Oh, it is safe. Yes, there you go.
No, let's just goes and squish. Very enthusiastic frog, yes. I'm glad you guys are here.
There we go.
And Sticker has joined us. He's right there.
Yes. Tail.
All of the flu, yeah.
Tail.
I can actually do that for now.
Yes.
Not too long, but for now. Also can't reach my keyboard and my mouse anymore.
No.
You will fall off this way.
Falafel.
Idiot cat. How are you guys?
Yeah, how are you doing?
Welcome in. I'm glad you're here.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad everyone's here.
Of course.
Hello. I did see the thing go, so they could hear that.
I was wrong.
Usually it's me.
That was a thing.
That was a thing.
You know, the body makes different noises.
Oh, I very much know that, yes.
It's never invited.
Well, at least it was just your stomach. I prefer it to be your stomach than anything exiting in this case. Shall we start with the song?
Are we all ready for the song? Is everybody listening?
We're good. We're also a bit distracted because we're trying to make a plan for getting crafting done. Listen anyway.
Now you are a totem. In our last stream, all of our characters took on several soldiers from Val. The last person to enter the scene was Maka. She managed to grab Umbrella. As Umbrella lost consciousness, we ended the stream.
Yeah, you guys didn't like that very much, did you?
And now it's only gonna get worse.
We did warn, yes. Yes, that was mean.
Good. Good, it was mean.
So, can you do the Control F5?
Control F5. That one. Yes.
Well done.
I did the thing.
In one go. Well done.
I pressed the buttons.
Ready.
Ready.
Yes, we were very mean. So, let's get started.
All right.
Hello.
Hello. David's perspective. David pushed on, up and up into the clouds, away from the battlefield. His mind was set on one thing, survival, and the hopes to come back more powerful than ever. The plains of Aradmir and its patches of bloodied grass and piles of corpses vanished beneath him. The white clouds he passed through seemed endless, until he was surrounded by nothing but whiteness. It felt like it flew slower and slower, not because he was slowing down, because time felt like it moved at a slower pace than back on the ground. His mind was getting hazy, his vision numbed by only white, but he tried to push on as far as he could. His body changed. Things felt different. The fuzziness became too much. He closed his eyes tight. When he opened them again, he saw a A garden as far as he could see. Beautiful flowers, lush vegetation in every direction, and tending to the greenery were children and teenagers wearing white and cream-colored gowns. Gently his feet touched the ground, while he had just been flying up. He felt his wrist and side being healed. It was a strange sensation. David carefully stepped into the field of flowers in front of him. He stretched his arms towards the flowers to feel if they were real, if any of this was real. The red petals began to shine a crimson hue where his fingers brushed them. He looked around at the other people to see if they noticed him. They didn't pay him any mind and continued tending to the flowers. He walked a little further along the trodden path to meet one of the caretakers, a young girl no more than 11 years old. Excuse me. Do you know where I am?
Home, sir. You're standing in the gardens of home.
Home? Are there others like you, beside the people here?
We are with many. But if you want to know all, speak to the Almighty in the cathedral of home.
The girl pointed in the direction the trodden path led towards. David followed the flower beds past several junctions and crossroads, keeping to the same direction the young girl pointed it towards. The other gardeners weren't much older than the girl that helped him, somewhere between 10 and 16 years old, but they had developed their wings much further than the girl had. David stopped to take in his surroundings for a bit. The vast, tended greenery was slowly shrinking as civilization came into view. There seemed to be more people in the direction he was going. When he took a look back, he saw one of the teenage gardeners jump over several rows of flowers to get to the other side, clearly using his wings to full effect already. As he continued his trek along a trodden path, the soil slowly turned a cobbled brick road, leading to massive stairs, lined with houses on several different layers. He started climbing the stairs to the top, passing several other people along the way. Many seemed to be scholars, wearing white garbs with blue lining and carrying stacks of books. The higher he climbed, the more people he saw, yet their attire barely changed. All white or sand-colored cloaks with either blue or purple accents. David couldn't tell if the different colors denoted rankings or they're just aesthetics. Broken white marble lined the homes he passed. Beautifully decorated columns held up the lush balconies he saw, or more gardens. Finally reaching the top of the stairway, the landing was crowded with people, pouring in and out of stone buildings, carrying yet more books and tablature. Unlike the youngsters, these people had their garments specifically tailored to keep their wings out, and they were a shining ring on their heads, like a crown. David finally knew what it looked like, the object he has been searching for so long. These people had halos. With so many people around, it was hard to discern where he could find what he was looking for. Many grand buildings surrounded him, and he didn't get any more clear instructions from the little girl in the garden. Excuse me, I'm looking for an audience with the Almighty. Could you send me in their direction? How in all that is holy, all that is good, did this scoundrel get into home? He's probably lost, Emerald. Don't you feel obligated to help the poor man? Not at all, sir. I don't want this riffraff contaminating our city. Off with you, Emerald. You won't grow stronger if you never accept outsiders.
No.
The old man grabbed David's arm and pulled him along. Led by the old man, David looked at the people in the surrounding buildings. It seems like a city full of scholars. You'd be correct. Home has many libraries and universities filled with studies of different realms, like the one you returned from. Your adventures and triumphs will be recorded when you visit the Almighty. Are you taking me to them? Not yet, Sonny. I'm taking you to my house. We're almost there. David was asked to come inside and drop his coat in the spare bedroom. When he came back down, the old man was sitting at a sturdy-looking table with a book in front of him. He looked at David and he instantly knew what the man wanted him to do. So he sat down across from him. I want to show you my story. When I was younger, the People knew me as Xander the Quick. I could outrun anyone, even if their steps were 10 times larger. I still sped out any last of them. When I got wind of my return to home to record my heroics, I got stumped, and I didn't have any heroic deeds. The only thing I could do was run, and I did it to get money off some poor street rats. David was listening to full intent. So in order to submit my deeds when I got here, I set out to find something someone such as myself could do to help others. Days of travel led me into a village where I stayed for a while. Later, I found out that this little town was on the brink of being destroyed by floods, plague, you name it. So like any self-proclaimed hero, I ran back and forth from village to village to get supplies to the people of my town, so the people of my town could survive these natural onslaughts. I would consider that heroic. The Almighty agreed when you came back. When my time as a hero on the surface was done, I finally went up here, made my way to the Almighty. They did actually consider my deeds heroic enough to record them in the logs of the ancient, as the stories of Xander the Quick, which I appreciate as a title. I got back into normal life here at home, found a partner, had a son, and many years later, a daughter. A sweet girl, that daughter. Zenith is her name, 11 years old, and just like all the youth of home, works in the gardens. I believe that it was your daughter that sent me in this direction. May I ask what happened to your son? Xander closed his eyes and inhaled deeply. My son disappeared from home some 8 years ago, somewhere in his late teens. Most of our species venture to the outer realms around that time, so we expected as much. We also expected him to come back after a few years, but it took longer and longer. We didn't think he'd come back home. David's eyes widened. Excuse me that I asked. I probably shouldn't have. That's all right, my boy. Curiosity is a good catalyst for heroic deeds, as I've learned in my past. The door swung open.
Hi, Daddy. I'm home. Hey, you're the person I sent this way. I'm glad you made it.
Yes, you were probably Zenith. I wouldn't have made it without you. Well, Zenith, you don't seem to recognize each other at all. But shouldn't you welcome your older brother into home? If he just sat there, taking in the information he had just received. As he looked at Zenith, he saw flashes of his past pass by. My family?
He's my brother?
That would be correct. And when David said, "Well, I went to the surface," you were only 2 years old.
9 years? Why didn't you come back then?
I didn't think I could. I couldn't remember why I was sent there, that I could fly. I lived on the streets for a while, hiding from the realm dwellers.
Oh, what was it like? Is it like in the books?
Xander walked into the kitchen to make some beverages, with a glint of a smile on his lips. I wouldn't know if it was in the books, but it was a bustling city I woke up in. I got myself a cloak to conceal myself, giving me the opportunity to get some actual clothing. I was alone. In some way it was nice, solitude. Quickly I noticed that these humans could work, so I adapted. I began working at an animal shelter, where I would be in charge of moving larger animals to appropriately sized cages. That's where I met a girl who I'd been tracking with for a while. I considered her my sister, since I didn't remember anything from here. David took the glass from Xander. The other was placed on the table where Zenith had sat down.
A girl? What is she like? Is she tall? Blonde, bright blonde hair? No, wait. I want to know more about the realm. Humans? Animals? There's 2 different species?
There's many different species in this realm, living in somewhat harmony. Humans live in cities with large buildings, driving cars, motorized machines built for travel, to go from their homes to work. Animals live in the wilderness, such as forests and mountainous regions. This realm was inhabited with many types of creatures, too many to count, but among them was this girl. She was wounded, so I put her in an easy-to-reach cage. I should probably mention that this girl was a wolf.
A wolf? That's one of those creatures. I know.
She looked like she was being quizzed by a teacher.
They stand on 2 feet, long fur, claws, right? They bite anyone. You befriended one?
Well, I've plenty of time for more questions if the feed isn't burnt out yet after seeing the Almighty. You were taking me to them. Thank you so much, sir. Ah, sir. Mere old man, remember.
Oh, but I have so many more. Can I come to the Almighty?
Sandra and David looked at each other, shrugged simultaneously. But I want you to be completely silent when you get there. It's going to be a long sit. She bounced up and down excitedly.
I'm sure I can do that.
I'm sure you can. Grab your jacket, boy. We're going this instant. David jumped up from his chair. With large steps, he was away and back in no time. As he walked along the beautifully paved path that became more and more lavish, Zenith fired question after question at David, which he patiently answered. It gave him a little distraction from the daunting visit he would have to pay.
Oh, that's perfect timing.
And there we go.
Yes, she is adorable. She's also an 11-year-old girl.
I will say, not easy to write.
Fair. Schmeily wolf.
Schmeily wolf.
Frog was not triggered, you didn't say it.
Well, someone has to do it. If you can, well, perfect.
So, yeah, we still don't know what happened to Amarilla.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I expect, like, the first ever time Apple will be on stream is to come to podcast mode. Captain Funny. Yes.
Correct. And we will come back home.
Let me finish. I mean, in that case, I literally have a mallet with a rubber head. I can give you.
It's the squeaky hammer.
I also have to blow up axes.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, do you guys want us to continue?
Oh, wow.
I realized that we didn't actually say the thing that I was going to say.
No, that's fine. Don't think about it. We'll continue. Let them figure it out.
It's fine.
Yes.
Tune in next session.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, we're doing 2 chapters, right?
yeah, only 2. Only 2 this time.
Ready?
Yeah, 2.
Excuse me. More story.
Yes. All right. Yes.
Do the exclamation point, Frog. You are actually a what's it called? Moderator.
Words.
Words are hard.
I got to start this time, so.
I should make Apple a moderator too.
Yes. As they walked up to one of the largest buildings in Home, Sander spoke up for the first time on this walk. Here we are, the Grand Cathedral of the Almighty. It's your honor to push open these doors, my boy. David walked through the doors, shadowed by Zenith. The doors were as grand as the cathedral around them, and appropriately tall to boot. David leaned into the doors, and with a creak like they never had been opened before, they did just that. Awed, Zenith had become quiet. With barely more than a whisper, she turned to her father.
Are you sure I'm allowed?
Sander nodded. But behave yourself, like you aren't even there. The trio walked into the nave of the cathedral. Giant candles lit the pillars lining the aisles, while stained glass windows with colored light shined through onto the carpet they walked on. When they arrived at the main stage, Sander pulled Zenith with him to one of the pews and sat down. David felt heavy, weighted by what was to come, weighted by what had been. He took a step onto the small staircase, leading up to the altar. His heart was pounding with every step. Never had he felt this nervous. When he got up to the top of the stage, a voice spoke. You are David, correct? That is correct. His answer ever stoic, even through his nervousness. Another voice spoke, feminine. She sounded strict and concise.
tell us why you're here, addressing us.
I have come to record my tale, if I may be so bold.
You were sent to the world of humans and monsters, yes?
That would also be correct. I found myself in an alley, and when I woke up, I got myself some clothing to fit in with this crowd, and like them, I too picked up a job. I lived on the street for a while, trading, fighting ruffians in the back alley rings, until a wolf came into my animal shelter I worked at. This wolf wasn't a normal wolf. She could transform into a human female within seconds. A shapeshifter. Intriguing. You don't hear that from every realm.
What of this girl? What happened to her?
I called in a doctor to look at her leg, since she had been shot. From then on, she has been my sister. We fought to survive together, and met a few others along the way.
And how did you find out to head back? These same acquaintances?
We came into a city after battling a peculiar foe. In the city we met another of our friends, an elven lady who was keeper of the library. She knew many things, including about obtaining a halo as part of a ritual within our species. David responded to the questions with as much detail as he could.
Where are these friends you named now?
They are on the surface of that realm, in a battle with that same peculiar foe. An orc built like a brick house, wanting to find out my powers, so he can use them for himself. I left that battlefield in their capable hands to keep my power away from him, although I do intend to go back to finish the fight he started. Several more questions came to Veed's way, until the first voice spoke again, thundering through the halls of the cathedral. We have heard enough of your story. We shall log this in the annals of our history. Your tale shall be known as David the Forest Soul, and others will learn of your bravery. However, your story hasn't been concluded, as you said yourself. We will grant you your halo. You must train with it, and when you are strong enough, you will return to your companions and finish that war. The ceremony at which you will receive your halo is tomorrow. Till then, rejoice. Xander, who had been asleep almost immediately after sitting down on the pew, was shocked awake. David walked down the nave back to Xander and Zenith. I believe it went quite well. Walking out of the Grand Cathedral together, they chatted about the questions that David was asked.
How could I sleep through it all? I really thought I was paying attention.
It's no problem at all. I'm very thankful you both came along.
I had never been in there with them so close before, and I told you I could be quiet.
Even if you weren't, I wouldn't have known. But I'm happy I can demand that from you. You have the potential to be a leader when you grow up.
Tomorrow is the day I'm supposed to get my halo, but the Almighty knows I'm intent on helping my friends in battle. It must be going on for a while. I don't know how to do both.
Time works differently in this realm. The Almighty knows now when you intend to return. You spoke to them about it. You will be allowed to go down moments after you left. Never before. We don't alter time in other realms. They will make the right decision for you. Time here will continue, so however long you spend in your realm, time here will continue as you experience it.
They say it feels really weird when you return here because time shifts.
Xander put his hand on her shoulder with a smile. You seem to know much about this realm, the Almighty. Said I'll need to start training. Can you help me, Pops?
I can, and I will. Not hard to learn. It'll take a long time.
I'm going to be sent back moments after leaving that realm. That means I'd have all the time to train. When do we start?
I could explain some of the basics today.
No, not today. I want to show David all of home. He needs to see all the other gardens and the orchard. I want to show him around.
She pulled on David's arm.
All right. You kids have fun. Be back before dusk, okay?
I'll make sure we do, sir. As Zenith pulled David forward, she told him about the different kinds of flowers that grew in the garden she was going to show first. Soon after she started asking him even more questions about the realm his friends were from. She was extremely curious about the different creatures they were and how they all worked together. The next morning, David was almost close to nervous, as close as he could be with his stoic calm.
Zenith seemed much more nervous and excited for him. Xander had lent him one of the robes David had seen everyone in. It's so loose. Can't I wear my usual clothes? Nonsense, boy. This is the most important ceremony of your life. You have to look the part. The back of the robes were open, so his wings could stick out. That probably was the most uncomfortable for him. He hadn't felt comfortable showing his wings for so long, but it felt strange to have them out for everyone to see.
You look just like the scholars.
I guess you were right. I think I'm ready to go. David put on his heavy boots, which were completely concealed under the long robes. Fantastic! Let's head to the Grand Cathedral. David was silent on the way to the cathedral. Even Zenith stopped asking questions, realizing her brother was nervous. When they arrived at the cathedral, the heavy door stood open, so they could enter immediately. 2 scholars walked up to them to lead them the way. They separated David from the others, leading him to the front, while Xander and Zenith were led to their assigned seats. Following the scholar, David walked past several rows of filled pews, all with people he didn't recognize. When the pair arrived at the raised stage, David was pointed up the stairs, while the scholar stayed behind. Kneel down and spread your wings. A powerful voice echoed through the aisles of the massive cathedral. David instantly did what it told him and dropped to one knee. The day before, you came into home and found presents with us. Thus, we recorded your adventure. You will be receiving your halo. You've shown us willpower and bond, the creatures of your assigned realm. David looked up and where the voice was coming from, but the colored lights through the windows above didn't go far enough to unmask them. Now we will grant you your halo. Lower your head and let it be placed upon it. From the high ceiling of the cathedral, a bright spark formed that slowly grew into a small sphere. It started lowering down to the floor level as it did. As it did, it started spinning. Faster and faster it spun, until it formed a ring of light that became one piece when it landed just above David's head. An electric shock shot through David's body as the newfound power of light surged through him. Now, David the Forest Soul, rise. David slowly got up. When he turned around to the people in the pews, a thundering applause was heard, echoing louder than the voice of the Almighty. David was passed between many hands, a thing he didn't like and didn't appreciate, but he had no say in the matter. Everyone was happy for him. At the moment he saw Xander and Zenith, he saw his opportunity, fled out with them, to let the scholars celebrate without him. Xander seemed to notice David's discomfort, guided him out of the cathedral, and they began their way to his house. David the Forest Soul. With a brand new halo resting an inch or two above David's head, the next several days were filled with figuring out what abilities were unlocked with it. Xander had explained that every angel gets their own set of skills, so there was no way the group could know what David could do, or how to do them. Try placing your feet apart and hold out your arm.
Yeah, and then place a bucket on your head and twirl around 3 times.
To Zenith's dismay, David only tried what Xander had told him. He moved his feet and focused on the pile of rocks in the distance. After a couple of seconds, he shot his arm towards them, and to their surprise, they jiggled a little.
Oh God, you did it! Do it again!
David repeated what he just did, but he moved his arm slower this time. With a sweeping motion, the rocks followed his hand up, away from the ground. About a meter above the ground, the rocks were dangling in the air. When David moved his arm down, he applied much more force, turning the rocks to pebbles and sand when they impacted the ground. By the Almighty's collective beards, gravity manipulation. Well done, my boy.
Try something else. I'm sure you can do more.
You've used your energy from afar. Try focusing it close to you. David's feet were still about a meter apart, knees slightly bent. He put his hands close together and put all his newfound strength into it. A small light grew into existence and expanded like a balloon. Blinding light and scorching heat emanated from David's palms, yet he seemed unscathed. When he let go, by moving his arms forward, the ball started drifting to where the rocks were used to be, lighting up everything in its path. Upon impact with the ground, the basketball-sized sun burnt the ground and sent a heat wave back at David and the others. When they looked back at the spot they had seen the ball make contact, they only saw scorched earth for several meters. It had dissipated after impact. Xander had warned him that day that using such powers could drain him, and that he should regularly meditate to keep up his strength. The next several days, they practiced. They practiced until David could conjure up the two abilities freely. He knew the time had come. He could feel it. He had to return to help his friends. That day was the day he needed to ask the Almighty. David made his way to the Grand Cathedral, for what was likely the final time. Opening the door still filled him with nervousness, even after training the powers of the halo they granted him, and them approving of his return to the realm below. The empty pews reminded him of his first day at home. The dimly lit pillars and the colored lights filled him with determination as he stepped onto the raised stage. Excuse my intrusion, but I believe I am ready to return to my assigned realm. So, is he ready to go back? Or should he stay and practice more?
If he deems himself ready, you should be given the chance.
Realize we will not send you back to this moment twice. You will have to make do with what you have. We feel you are ready. Say your goodbyes and be in the garden in an hour. We will send you down again. Thank you for your generosity. It will not be in vain. David bowed down and peacefully left the grand halls. Once he returned to Zenith and Xander and told them he had been approved, Zenith's eyes welled up with tears.
You're leaving us again?
Unfortunately, yes. I will return when I have done what I must. A stoic look on his face, but it was getting more difficult to keep his calm. You've grown into a fine man, son. Your tales shall be heard, and for generations. Zenith wrapped her arms around his waist, but quickly let go.
I'm sorry. I know you don't like being touched, but I had to say goodbye.
She all but flew up to her room, unable to come with them to the garden. Poor lass. Never did well with goodbyes. Some say she cares too much. I think it's a sign of a great heart. The two of them made their way to the gardens as David was instructed, and was greeted by a crowd. Half the population of home was gathered around the tree David woke up against. David and Xander squirmed their way to the center to find 6 strong-looking individuals. Ah, nicely on time. You must be the Almighty. It was very difficult to see you before. No need to bow here, boy. The Almighty all had golden robes, adorned with armor plating that extended onto their wings. The 6 moved around and to form a circle around David and started chanting in an ancient language. I will return. I will return with more stories on my name. David looked at Xander, since the crowd only seemed enthralled by the visage of the Almighty. As David descended, a familiar but distorted voice sounded.
I have to fight this darkness. I have to help my friends. That's it.
Oh, we're done, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Cool.
Next time.
31st. Yes, zien is Schmijnhof, yes. This would be a perfect place to stop. No, now.
Well, we tend to be mean with our cliffhangers, but in this case, there are no cliffhangers. We will continue. There is more.
There is more.
We demand more.
My little froggy heart can take the stench. Weakling.
So ready?
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ready?
Other way around.
No bonking will be needed.
For now.
Alright, ready up! Secret third chapter.
We always do 3.
Yeah. Alright, here we go.
Theoden's perspective. As Theoden was running towards the center of the field where he had last seen Amarilla, and had also seen Gaius run towards, he whacked his bow and slashed his dagger at any foot soldiers that came close. When he finally reached the area, he stopped dead in his tracks. He was in the circle around Amarilla, and to his great surprise, Maca. The soldiers didn't dare come near. He stepped forward, just as Maca grasped Amarilla's head. He could see that she was draining Amarilla. For a split second, he felt for an arrow, but even though he could feel the feathers at the end, he couldn't draw it. He went up to Maca and swiftly wrapped his bow around her upper torso and pulled her forcefully. Maca couldn't hold on to Amarilla and fell to the ground. She looked up at Theoden's fearing eyes.
Oh? Are you offering your energy to me? What a good little puppy you are.
I think you have drained enough people.
Theoden waved his arm to Gaius, dead on the floor, and Amarilla. She wasn't moving, and as Maca got up, they started to circle each other. Amarilla stepped on by soldiers, left and forgotten, left for dead.
I can still feel an empty pit in my stomach. I'm hungry. Won't you feed me?
Maca's eyes turned dark as she lunged forward. Theoden lurched back, his dagger up, ready to slash. This woman he would fight to the ends of the world for, but she wasn't herself.
Maca, come back to me.
Right here, but if you're so willing, I can come a little closer.
Her loving words were drenched in an evil intent. As she moved closer, he whipped at her with his wooden bow, narrowly missing her. She must have noticed his unwillingness to harm her, because she became bolder.
You don't know what you want, do you? You want me to come closer and then you swipe at me. I was wrong calling you a puppy. You're more like a kitty cat. Now give me your energy. I'm done playing games.
Gosh, snap out of it. We're friends. Don't want to hurt me.
Oh, it won't hurt. You will not even feel it. And then you'll feel nothing anymore, ever.
As she swiped at him, he let his blade run past her side. She hissed at the pain and lunged back. Theoden knew then that he couldn't hurt her more. She had to be in there somewhere, and if she wasn't... Maca lunged at him again, angrily, and he dropped his dagger. He wrapped his arms around her waist as she was in range, and the hands that landed on his shoulders were ice. He could feel his energy being pulled away from him. Her wicked smile looked up at him, so close. She was right there. Without thinking, he bent down and pressed his warm lips to her icy ones. When he could almost feel his knees start to buckle, suddenly the loss of energy stopped. The icy hands and lips he could feel slowly warmed to his temperature. The hands on his shoulders wrapped around his head into his long hair. As he broke loose, he breathed in one long breath.
Theo.
It's okay. I know. I need to check on Amarilla.
With great effort, he pulled himself loose from Maca and ran into the direction he thought she was. There was a commotion he couldn't see yet.
The beat's descent went smoother than going up. As he drifted down, the voice repeated itself, like an echo, but louder this time. It was getting closer to its source.
I have to fight this darkness. I have to help my friends.
Can I be of assistance in battling this darkness, whomever you may be?
Help me. Please help. I don't know where I am. I'm hurt.
There's no need to worry anymore. You will get help. Can you tell me more clearly your location? He followed the voice.
I was at Aragnan.
Yes, and what do you see? I will follow your voice, visual clues, to find you, and provide help.
I'm in the dark. I see dark. I'm so tired. I can't hold on.
I am close. Feel my warmth. You will be safe. Tell me one more thing and I'll be there. Tell me your name. Defeat was trying to keep the voice awake for long enough to find its epicenter.
Amarilla.
Defeat found her lying on the ground, rolled up and cowering, drenched in blood. You are safe now. I am here. What I don't fully understand yet is how we can communicate over such a distance while you're in your real form. Amarilla's eyes were closed. She seemed unconscious. A high-pained wop came from her mouth.
I can hear you. You sound different. You are him. I'll fight for him.
David?
It is me, correct. You sound different too, but I'm glad I found you in this mess. You are safe now. I will get you to safety. David picked her up carefully, just as Theoden reached where they were. Their eyes crossed paths as Theoden fought the creatures that started getting closer again. David flew over to the side of the plains. In the distance, he spotted Grodnix and Aiel observing the battlefield. Aiel's hand moved to her mouth as she saw who David was carrying. Tears filled her eyes. She immediately ran towards him, swift as a blade. No need to worry. She is alive and will be able to heal from this. She is badly wounded, however. He got there just in time. David lowered Amarilla to the ground. Aiel's hand went across Amarilla's bloody body. She had fought so hard. She examined her to heal the worst wound first.
I'll help her. Help our friends.
I'm ready to bash some more heads. Grodnix said as he reached them too and slung buskers across his shoulder. Amarilla opened her eyes, fluttering. It is good to hear, my friend. Let us commence.
I'll fight. I'm here.
He lifted his arms in front of his body and pushed them to the side. Left and right, foot soldiers flew off their feet onto the ground without David even being close. You must rest, Amarilla. You were in Aiel's loving hands. You were safe here. What? Since when? How did she... Don't mind the questions. Let's roll. I picked up a couple of tricks in my latest excursion. I see. Well, let's take advantage of that, shall we?
General perspective. As David and Grodnix made their way onto the battlefield, at first Grodnix barely had anything to do, but as they drew nearer to the back of the field, furthest from their starting point, they found more and more resistance. Like Baal was pushing all of his minions in a last-ditch effort to keep them away from him. Grodnix kept David's back safe by smashing foot soldiers by the dozen.
You're almost to the center. How are you holding up? Don't worry about me. Just keep going. The sooner the big man is taken down, the sooner we can have dinner. I'm starving. Well, we're just about there. I'll leave the rest to you. Go for Baal myself. Good luck, friend.
Baal, having seen them coming, was ready for David. Despite being wounded severely in their last fight, he was holding his broadsword in two hands, ready to strike the moment David would come down. David moved swiftly, even in the air, moving his arms forward and shooting out a miniature sun. The fireball made it hard to see in front of him. His eyes hurt from looking at it too long. Behind the safety of the burning orb, he dropped to the field below him.
How?
He had jumped out of the way, and beside him was a large patch of scorched and burning earth.
I need your strength. I need your blood. If it can give me such power, it must be able to change me from this.
He abandoned his sword. He must have known it was useless with his injured arm, but held on anyway to scare David away.
You can never have this power, for you have no way home. More riddles. I will get it, or die trying.
Baal charged with his dirk. David stood in one spot. At the last second, he pulled one of the minions in between Baal and himself with his telekinesis. Instantly, the creature was sliced in two. David moved away several steps, since he knew, even with his newfound power, his knife would do some damage.
New tricks won't save you.
David kicked the dirk out of Baal's hand.
You are badly wounded. How do you intend to take my powers if you can't properly hold your own weaponry? Stop this while you have the chance, or I'll take everything away from you.
Even without weaponry, Baal lashed out at David, swiping his fist at David's face. Without flinching, the hit connects. To Baal's surprise, David was still standing in the same spot. David's hand began to glow, and with it being so close to Baal's face, the orc could do nothing but look away. David closed his glowing hand into a fist. Grey smoke started pouring from Baal's pores and towards David. Around their feet, warm yellow light appeared as they both got absorbed in the soot. Everyone immediately stopped whatever they were doing to look over him. The foot soldiers stopped attacking and dropped their weapons.
I was having fun!
When he too looked in the same direction as the soldiers, he saw the smoke clear, and from it David emerged, and what should have been Baal was now an ordinary human figure. Oh, crap.
No,
Ah.
no, 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 nothing happened.
Can't do shit, it's fine. Yes, we were being bullies.
Yes.
Nothing happened. We saw that!
No, you didn't. Carry on. Ready?
That spoiled it, didn't it? Yes, we are doing 4 today.
Surprise! Such rudeness.
Get on it then.
Yeah, very much.
Shall we give them what they want?
Shall
yes. Same. Very much
yeah,
same.
oh yeah.
Frog.
Hope we stick together.
Yes. Very much so.
Alright, well, let's go then.
Amarilla gradually got to her 4 feet. Ayal was trying to hold her down, but she wouldn't listen. You haven't healed enough yet. Come back. Everyone could see that Ayal was weak from using so much magic. Amarilla didn't want her to spend more time on her. Amarilla wanted to go help. The battle wasn't over.
Your time has come, vile creatures. The army of the Wellen will strike you down. To arms, men!
A shout came from the sky that made everyone look up. King Silberon, atop his mighty griffin, and a fleet of other winged creatures came swooping overhead, hurling spears and arrows down upon foot soldiers left over from Baal's forces. Lunera, who was just helping Ayal get up from the ground, sighed with relief. We don't have to do this alone anymore. Amarilla heard them follow her towards the center of the battlefield. Baal's soldiers were too busy with the winged creatures to care about the lone wolf walking to the dissipating smoke. In the center she found David and a man, a human man. The man scurried away when he saw Amarilla approaching. Despite her limp and slow walk, she was still intimidating as a large wolf. It was Gradnix who grabbed the man by the scruff.
Not so fast.
He looked over his shoulder at David.
Who is this weirdo anyway? How did he get here?
The man you were holding by the collar would be the man we've been fighting all this time. I've only removed the negative power you housed.
Baal? You turned him human?
This dude is Baal. The big bad orc man. The man twice my size.
Correct.
And you just come in and turn him human?
Again, correct.
Amarilla walked to her friends as Zerfer also found his way to the group. Amarilla pressed her shoulder against David's side and made a low humming sound. I'm confused, but I'm so proud of you. You have your halo. Baal, the human, looked at Amarilla with a fear she would have gladly seen on Baal's orc face. What do we do with him now? Before anyone could answer, Theoden emerged, slashing at a stray foot soldier, followed by Maka timidly behind him. Amarilla immediately started growling.
No worries. Maka isn't being brainwashed anymore. We got her back.
Amarilla and Theoden looked at each other for a moment. He dropped to his knees, seeing the fear in her eyes.
I saw you fall. I'm glad you're okay.
Amarilla could only press her face into his shoulder, almost knocking him off balance.
It's a blessing everyone is alive. Surprisingly, even Baal. Anyway, what do we do with him? I say we let him go. I say we kill him.
David and Theoden spoke simultaneously. I think we should incarcerate him. Let Silberon take him to the dungeons?
Killing a defenseless man. It's hardly how you've been raised, my boy. Incarcerating seems a fitting end to his tyranny.
Silberon came flying in and stepped off his steed. Ayal and Theoden both immediately covered their hearts with an open hand, and Theoden got back to his feet.
You're right, father. I was brash, but I found my judgment somewhat skewed by what he has done to us. I understand how you feel. Were it my people, I wouldn't be so forgiving either. But after careful consideration, still come to this conclusion. We shall put him in the dungeons.
He signaled his men over. Baal was taken away from Gradnix as the others came closer together.
You didn't kill me when you could. Why? It's not in my nature to kill. I'm really fulfilled your wish of being rid of these negative powers. Thank you.
The elven warriors took him away from the group. The party found a calm space at the edge of the forest, close to where they had hidden their belongings. Everyone had to sit down. Exhaustion from a long fight pressed down on them. King Soberon looked around the group and his eyes landed on the interlocked hands of his son and Maca. Theoden stepped forward, instinctively standing in front of him.
Father, there's something I need to talk to you about. It's about my kingship. More specifically, my queen beside me. I need your blessing to do this, but the woman standing beside me, I feel, will be with me until we perish. I know it is a difficult choice to make, since she is not elven. However, I feel I won't make proper decisions without her by my side. We shall talk about this once more when we get home. Until then, she may be with you. She may join you on your trip back to Llewellyn. What do we do now? I suggest we travel to my friend, Onid. He lives in these woods.
We have met him, but that's days away. We can't travel that far in these woods. With these wolves.
Our soldiers are steady flyers. They shall get you get you there without any more damage.
Without more words, 8 winged horses landed with their riders, and so did Soberon's griffin.
One for everyone. My riders will help you onto their steeds.
Thank you, Father. I am well able to ride with these myself. Maca will join me.
I shall also be flying. I have wings of my own. No need to burden a beast for someone like me. As you wish.
One of the riders gave up his steed and joined another to return to to cleaning up the battlefield. Ayal walked over to Amarilla, who had laid down on the ground. I'm so tired. Come on, I'll help you onto a horse. Amarilla could see how tired Ayal was. She whimpered softly when Ayal stuck out her arms to help her up.
Before we all get on, let's say a proper goodbye. Maca and I are going to the kingdom from here. I know the way. So, thank you all for this opportunity. To think that our first meeting was me trying to shoot you with an arrow. When will we see you again? Are we allowed to visit the castle?
You're leaving? Amarilla, no, wait, don't. Amarilla changed to human. Ayal immediately covered her in her cloak, while being worn and torn, it covered her enough. Can you help me stand? They slowly walked up to Theoden and Maca.
I
Was the only word Maca uttered before Amarilla let herself fall into the hands of the small demon. As long as it's over, I don't want to hear it now. I'm just glad we got you back. When she let go of the girl, she stumbled over to Theoden, losing all of her balance in the process. Maca helped her keep her straight for a bit, but Theoden managed to catch her when she toppled. He put her back on her feet and hugged her, making sure not to cause any pain to either of them. Thank you. She was unsure what other words she could ever give this man. They had gone through so much together. There were no words to describe how happy she was that he was all right. Theoden gently rubbed a piece of Amarilla's shoulder that was safe. He slowly helped her on the back of one of the horses, held by a stranger. She could feel her head become fuzzy. Around her, she heard the others say their goodbyes to both Theoden and Maca. When they all were safely on horseback, Soberon raised his staff and they started trotting away, slowly rising. Amarilla woke up on a soft pile of cloaks. People were talking around them, among them Onid, the sage. She had been unconscious their entire trip. Where will you go now? I'm going to collect my horse and cart from your estate. I don't know from there on.
What about you, Ayal? Maybe you can still travel together with Tamriel.
I will have to return. I'm just hoping she'll come with me. Amarilla expected Ayal to be talking about her. What about you? I'll assume you'll get your hands healed first.
I'll be searching for a nearby healer, correct. And I think I'll travel to Llewellyn. Can't leave Theoden unsupervised for long.
What about you, Radix? Where will you be heading to?
None of your business. But I was thinking of joining Ayal. Or Lunera, excuse. If she'll have me.
You want to travel with me? This was the moment Amarilla slowly opened her eyes. She had been too exhausted before. Is everyone okay?
Everyone is alive. For the most part, doing fine.
Amarilla slowly got up, immediately fussed over by Ayal. I'm fine, just a little sore.
How was it? How was the other realm?
It was strange. I flew up, everything seemed to slow down. And I suddenly woke up on the ground, in a giant flower garden. My wounds seemed to have healed. It wasn't really a sky, it was all white above me. It felt like I was there for weeks. They sent me back to the moment I left. It was beautiful, though. People named it home, which seems right. It sure felt like it.
It sounds amazing. I don't suppose you'll let me write down your tales to put into our libraries. Are you here to stay?
Yes to both. My legend has been written down for the Library of Home, and angels aren't usually in other realms for long. But I've asked the Almighty if I could explore this realm more, to share more adventures. I don't see why you wouldn't be able to write them down for your libraries too.
A soft smile came across Amarilla's mouth. She wouldn't have to give him up immediately after losing him.
So I guess you will travel together to Emerald then?
There are some good healers in Emerald too.
Since the boy is willing to straighten out my son, I was thinking of taking him back to Llewellyn. The travel to Emerald is long. The warriors are at your disposal until you're there. I should leave now. Will you travel back with me, boy? I think I will be taking the king's offer, I think. It was an honor traveling with you all, sharing this adventure. May the gods shine upon
you. Zerfer walked up to the group and opened his arms for a hug. They all took turns to hug him as he prepared to leave. He knelt down by Amarilla and touched her cheek gingerly.
We will meet again.
We will. Zerfer and the king departed, leaving a silence amongst them for a while. We should try to make our way to Emerald before dark, so the healers can do their work on Amarilla. Some of her wounds are still bleeding. I'll be happy to stay with you in Emerald. Even when my wounds are healed, I'd love to stay with you. Ayal gently grabbed hold of her hand, knowing they would be together for as long as they wanted. Both women smiled. They all were, once again, helped onto the backs of the winged horses. Grodnix hobbled around with his backpack, unsure what to do. Well, are you coming?
I really don't like flying. The things I do for you.
Thank you for your hospitality, Olin, sage of the forest. It was an honor meeting you.
Well,
Dum, dum, dum.
Bum, bum, bum.
I like that we thought. The things I do for you. Oh, what? What's up, PT? What's up? What you looking at?
Shut it, Cardinal.
So you guys might have noticed I haven't actually clicked into a different screen yet. I'm waiting for someone to actually take note of. This was our story.
Yep.
So when can I buy the book and when is the new story starting? Because I know this was the final chapter, but more. Well, I can safely say our next stream will be the 31st of July.
Yes. Continuing right into the second story.
Yes. That is already planned.
As you may have heard often, we are writing another one. And
we're in chapter 20.
Yeah, we were gonna start streaming as soon as we reached chapter 10.
11. We reached 11, but finished 10.
Finished 10. As long as Halo was done. By the time that Halo is done, which is currently, right now, we are at chapter 20. If not 21.
No, we are in 20.
Okay, in 20.
Yes.
So, we reached that goal. So we will be continuing.
Yes. It is in the agenda. Cannot miss. There's actually people I need to message. They're like, hey, guys, we're starting a new one.
Also, that is why we didn't need the persuasion to continue. Exactly.
No, Apple?
No.
3. This was difficult.
Yes. 3 chapters.
3 is enough.
It is already more than you got with the start of Halo. It used to be 2 chapters.
Just picking up my thing. I had to try. 3, yes.
Perfect. Good. Then we
Cool.
won't get the question for more.
Doubt.
Yes, doubt.
That's a very coincidental but cool birthday gift.
Hey!
That is today, yeah!
Hey, sick.
Congrats! That is today, not then.
One of your shortest streams ever. Yes, of course. We didn't have any in-between talks.
It's not one of the shortest ones, because we had one that was almost 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Only just 30 minutes. But this is definitely shorter than I expected. I expected to be done at 5.
I mean, we miss about a half an hour twice of in-between talks.
True.
He rushed. Not kinda.
You really believe that the more. No. You did kind of push us a little bit, but also we really wanted to have this story out.
Yeah.
We were so excited for this. It's so good. So happy.
So yeah, we have been looking a little bit into getting this published, but not that much yet. But now that it's done, we'll be looking into that a little more.
I think because our closest family actually already have seen it, but I think we should probably show.
Oh, show the yeah.
It should be easy to find. There.
Oh, that was easy.
Yeah. That's Frog made it easy. That made it actually really easy. Is this the correct one?
I believe so.
This is, yeah.
Yeah, it's a little zoomed in. There you go.
That's best. That's best. Thank you. Should that work? I think that would work.
It should. There you go.
This will be the cover.
That's the book cover.
Yes, I'm showing what you think I'm showing. That will be the cover. I hope this is how they see it, right? Is this correct?
It should be.
Okay.
I believe so.
I'm happy that Ayel and Amarilla got to end up just being together. Very proud. Yes.
So if that wasn't correct, then your Kiana Dawn at the bottom would also not have been correct. All this time.
Actually, very good point. Thank you. Well made. So yeah, I think Feetsy's the only one that actually didn't see it yet.
But now it is also
It is out.
on stream.
Yes.
It is also going to be uploaded to YouTube, so this is now also on YouTube.
So, credit where credit is due. Frog made this to our guidance to what we wanted it to be, and he did such a great job. I'm very content.
There was very little guidance, to be honest.
Well, I gave him the idea of the front,
Yeah.
and then he actually was the one that chose to put in elements for everyone.
Yeah. There was little guidance.
Yeah.
We did have guidance, but
It's a good collaboration. It went really well.
absolutely. And it looks amazing.
Yes.
Stellar work, Sir Frog.
Yeah.
Definitely. Better words I would not be able to find for that.
It's great. It's amazing. So yeah. That's the thing. And
That's
it's
it?
finished. We're done. How did you guys like it? Because the only reaction I've heard so far is I want more, which there isn't any more of this. Lovely. Yay.
Good.
Cool.
More!
It was your reaction. That said more.
the Kylo Ren meme. More! More!
I'm so glad you guys love it. It makes me happy. It's gonna be like the feeling I have is gonna be like the same as yours next when it's even more of your story as well.
Yeah.
You have a question. Go ahead.
Go for it.
Do 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 do. 6 years later. There it is. Reckon you two at some point will write a what happened after in the story, just like 1 or 2 more chapters to see what all the characters are up to now. Well, we kind of wanted to leave it here in a way. There may be novellas. Maybe. We're not sure yet.
Yeah.
There have been talks about
Talks have been had.
Yes. That would be cool. Yeah.
The idea is there, but the final judgment has not been made yet.
Yeah. And if so, how or who or...
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, actually, aside from Frog making this amazing cover, I do want to give credit where credit is due. In this story, those 2 chapters that were black were written almost solely by him. That was the
first 2 chapters of this stream.
The 2 ones that were black, the first 2, everything that was David's perspective, I only helped. That was the first moment that he actually fully wrote his own bits.
Yeah.
Whereas before that, it was mostly like little answers here
responses
and there. Responses
or changes if I wanted something to feel different.
Whereas Home is fully his construct, fully his idea. And I love it. You knew that already, but they didn't. I love it. Yeah, that was the first moment he actually took to writing and actually made his own.
Yep. So if you love this, this was entirely inexperienced for like 50% of this collaboration. The next one should technically be better.
Yes. Yeah. I'm really proud.
I'm very happy with how it turned out. I still have the vision of what it looked like.
I wouldn't have thought, actually. That was great.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, it has been a process. You have had to learn things. I have had to guide you. That's also where I started to explain how to start up a chapter, how to start up a paragraph.
I did write all of it myself, but not without guidance.
Well, I mean, I did Zenith.
Fully unsupervised.
I did a lot for Zenith.
Yes.
Which is indicative. You do most female voices, so I also write most female voices.
Same for me with the male voices. It also helps this dynamic.
Yes. It's really a good collaboration, but in this case, those 2 were heavy on what he did.
Yeah.
It's how I taught him to surround sound his comments, because he would go like, "Oh, he's saying this," and "Oh, he's suddenly over there," which doesn't happen. It needs to happen first.
Yeah.
So giving the surroundings a thing, or saying like, "Oh, he walked." Yeah, but what is
put in a little bit more flavor.
Yeah.
Salt it a little bit. Come on.
So, and now he does that without asking. So he's definitely improved already. Like, a bunch, actually.
I have to learn it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really like that one.
Yeah,
that was so fun to write. With the list.
When we went back...
Snake Man.
when we did the Snake Man, it's 11.
Yeah. Could also have a hit escape. Oh no.
No, I did that, but it didn't work.
Correct.
It should be that. The thing.
Acquaintances.
When he read that back the first time, he was like, "What the fuck does that say?" It was like acquaintances. Oh, I got it.
These.
something decorative.
Yes. It's only butterflies.
New way. Favorite way to describe butterflies. Probably a bit more nervous during those 2. Yeah. I think it's not so much nerves, because he tends to be more excited for the entire stream, whereas I am actually nervous before streaming. I think it's mostly that we tend to be scared to trip up.
Yeah.
Like, the words will meld together and you're like, blah, blah, blah.
The problem is you really want to perform as best as you can. And with such big parts, which is also kind of the reason why we keep ourselves to 3 chapters, is to, over time, it kind of is a buffer. Like, you have your buffer that fills up with issues, and at some point, well, we're at chapter 3 now we're going to trip up because that buffer is gone, basically. You only have so much mess up time.
Yeah.
And that's why we, in theory, keep to 2 or 3 chapters, which we did before, and then got better at it.
Yeah.
And that at the end, it just becomes so many issues in a row, and at some point you just shut down and need to restart that sentence, which is a terrible feeling because you want to perform as best as you can. You don't want to trip up.
It's actually, you said you did well with recovering from the tiny mess-ups, which is exactly the point. Like, the tiny mess-ups you can get back from. The problem is if we do more, they won't be the tiny mess-ups. They will be bigger mess-ups.
They'll increase in size.
Sippy. That's a good idea, Mom.
That is a good idea.
Did you still have a sippy?
Yeah.
Green. I think I said, yeah.
Oh, yes.
And now it's not as cool as from the fridge, but it's still cool.
Amazing.
But yeah, it's a process, and I love it. I'm glad we get to do this. I have a bunch of them. Come get.
Cheers. This will not show up on my green screen.
No, I wouldn't think so.
It will be just a can-shaped hole.
Neither will this.
Yeah.
Or this.
Exactly.
Actually, this would also be, like, shaky.
Difficult to see.
Yeah. Messing up a little bit.
The nugget is already a problem.
I'm glad you like it, Apple. Makes me happy.
Yes.
So are you voicing your own character in the next one? Are you?
No. I will not be voicing my own character in the next one. I will be voicing
That's funny.
I will be voicing characters in the next one.
Yes.
But I won't be voicing my own character.
No. I get to do a Grotmax voice. Almost. A little bit more gruff at least than I've ever done.
Yes. Yes.
Non-binary, it's fine.
Just because he is a chick. Yes.
This is my best guess. That's because I said the non-binary comment. We almost had him. You're pulling it back a bit. There's so much I want to say. I already spoiled things today, shouldn't I? To end the stream for me so I can.
We have said enough about the next story.
That is fair. I do.
Oh, whoa.
I do like this middle tidbit though. This is good. You could have chosen not to answer.
I could have.
Yeah.
I wanted to say with a little bit more like God. It's what I wanted to say, but I couldn't think of the words in time, so I needed to say something. And I still can't think of the word. Like a little less aggressive, I guess.
What do you mean?
Well, like advised to say it like a little less aggressive. And that's because he's a chick.
Oh.
Just a little down-tempered, maybe. But it is correct.
Fair.
Thanks, hon. Both. Not fair.
Yes. To come back.
Mangas and hunkaroos.
So you'll be doing high-pitched voice for her then, Holly?
No. I will not be voicing my own character.
No.
It's a little weird. Giving it away, you know?
It's mostly because I haven't actually read them, so the intonation might be different, which is, again, happy that we do rehearsals.
Yes.
So he can actually say, no, that's not correct. I can just change it up. But yeah, it's going to be cool. I'm really excited.
There's likely going to be a lot of... Yeah, brother! Oh, wait, that's Randy Savage.
It's going to be amazing. Yes.
There's going to... In rehearsals, there's going to be a lot of... No, she doesn't sound like that, or she wouldn't say it like that. It's going to be a little difficult for both of us.
Yeah.
For you to find out how she actually sounds, for me to tell you that she doesn't sound the way you made it sound. Fuck yeah, brother!
Well, figure it out.
Yeah,
We'll figure it
it's gonna be
out.
fun.
We might want to do another 2 rehearsals for the first one, just to get the voice down.
Maybe a good idea. I think also the idea of having them say a sentence, voice recorded.
Oh, we already talked about that.
Yeah, so we had the idea of voice recording a single sentence, a simple one. Like, the sentence with every letter in it, the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog, and have every voice say that sentence and have a reference to that voice. So like Grodnix would have that voice clip as the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog, and then Surfer would have an entirely different one.
Yeah. That's a great idea, actually.
Because then you can actually okay, well, how did she sound? How did he sound? Silverhawk, for example, hasn't been in chapters for a while, so it was kind of difficult to actually go back to how does he sound? How did he sound?
I had no trouble going back to that. No,
Exactly.
not at all.
Yeah, exactly, because it's a simple shape that you know.
It's very high. It's just the highest voice I can reach. Sorry.
No problem. That's the same with David is actually kind of difficult for me because I used to know it, and then I got more voices because my vocal range just changed over the experience that I got from actually voicing characters. So the hastened brown hair leaps beyond the mellowed canine. Oh, own it. That works too.
That would be on it, actually.
The hastened brown hair leaps beyond the mellowed canine.
I do actually want to say I really like the way we ended it.
Yeah.
On Well Met from Own It. It's just like the last farewell. I think it fits really well.
Yep.
Attaboy.
Attaboy.
I like how, for Apple, she's answering us. For them, they are like, wait, she's answering too soon.
Yeah.
It's coming in really fast, at least.
Alright. Shall we check out if we have someone to read?
I doubt it, but sure.
I doubt it as well. But we will find out next
I
time.
was actually still muted. I would have someone. Was that fun? No. Okay. I don't have someone.
Unfortunate, but that's okay. It happens. Right, later, Gramps.
Bah! There it is. Well, thank you all for being here. We could not do this without audience.
We could not have done this without it.
Yes. I mean, yes.
You're literally all in the story. Oh, that's also a thing. You said credits what credits due. These characters have been designed by chat members.
Yes.
And, close friends of ours.
Yes. Most of the people in chat.
Yeah. So, yeah.
And so will the next one. And however many more.
Exactly.
Finally.
But yeah, our close friends actually created the characters. We have a little character sheet that we designed for being able to know what the character
Speaking of content.
sounds like.
I see his head pop up.
He's
like,
nah,
not interested.
Bring it here. So yeah, thank you all to the people that made these characters, or filled in these character sheets, because from there we kind of took them and put them in situations, and that's kind of how we do the story characters. So thank you very much for making the character sheets for us, or with us.
Yes.
Mostly with me.
Well, you guys made your own.
Hey, yo, cat, come over here.
I'm not going to force him.
No.
Because he's already vomited yesterday. I don't want him to do it again. So if he doesn't want it, you're going to refund it.
It's still a living being, so...
Well, I could put him here and he will eat it, but I don't think it's a good idea.
Happy to see my sunshine. Yes!
But yeah, so the next one, we won't do the guessing game again. I'm more than happy to tell you guys who made which character when we introduced them. It's no problem. But yeah, we aren't doing the guessing game again because I don't want people to feel left out when they do get, like, when people say, oh, that's that person, and they didn't get to make a character sheet.
Yeah.
I'd rather have people actually feel comfortable and just, be there.
That's Facker.
Fuck you.
Facker. Yeah, and going off of that, we can only make so many characters.
Yes.
So at some point there have been enough, and we have asked many different people to actually make a character. And some people will get left out of that because we can only have so many.
In this case, we also chose from the people that have been most active in this stream.
Yes.
Because it just made more sense to have people that are this active, because I know that they will enjoy being there for the next one too. And then for the one after that, we might choose a different set. But I think the amount of people we chose this time is very nice. So I'm very content with the amount. And we will probably go for something similar or maybe even a little less, depending on how it goes.
With Halo, we also had people that popped up later and shown interest in later characters or in the story in general. Also got to name the character. So they just send in a name, and we get to use that name. Like in this case, in Halo, it was Fitzy, who wasn't actually included in the making of a character, but she got to name Gaius and Emmett. Yep. I think that is most of it. Well, Venatrix was named by someone. By Max. Yes. Xander was Nice One. Yeah. And Zenith was Turbex Dave. Fair. And Shayran was Jellyquid. Yeah, Jelly. I think that was it. I think so too. I think there were 4 in the document. So yeah. I think you're right. And then in this case, because we weren't sure how it was going to go and we wanted only a set amount, there are some people that are, well, 2 people that have a side character. Thank you. Could not get to it. Whereas they don't have an actual sheet, but they do. But it's not as prevalent, and they don't join the party, but they will pop up every now and then, or at least once. Yes. In a big way. So I think that is really the better way to include people that are still going to be active, but also, like, you can't add everyone. It's too much. There's too many people. We already noticed that in this one, which is kind of why Maka started to move out a little. Yeah. Because she felt the least used in how our story was made, and she was also technically a demon, which making Lilith give Baal the power to rule all demons, which is what he did. I don't know if you guys remember, because that has been a while. That is quite a long time ago. Lilith actually gave Baal the power to command any demon. Which is why he has this giant army. Which is also the reason that she suddenly left right after the bit of Lilith, because she actually went to join Baal because he called upon everything. Yep. That was close enough, at least, to join him. So that is why she was gone beforehand and why she reached Aragmir before anyone else. She knew where to go. And we kind of left open how she might have vanished because he called upon and just appeared. Or she might have gone and then covered her track in some other way, because otherwise Amarilla would have found her by smell. Probably vanished. Yeah. Because that would have made the most sense. But we left it open. I never really closed that for anyone, but that is definitely a thing that I might need to edit in the story at some point. Maybe. It could just be left open. We'll see. We have an answer now. Yes. She was just teleported there. Yes. Through the power of Demon Mother. Likely. Yeah, Fixie, I get that, but it's also, like, I've had people say, it's like, oh yeah, well, they chose me, but I'm not actually in there, and I don't want to disappoint people that way. Yeah. Where they feel left out because everyone is like, oh, that's their character, and then they aren't actually a character at all. A good example of this was that we never expected, for example, Ram Dude to be so involved. And he was never a character in Halo, where he could have been.
Yes.
So then people guessed, oh, it's Ram Dude because he showed up in chat.
Yeah.
And he every time he had to say, no, it's not me. And we felt kind of like, should we then ask him to come to create a character? But we already have all of the characters that we want. So
Exactly.
Can't really add him, but we also don't want to have him left out. And then having more asks or more mentions of like, oh, it's Ram's character. No, it's not. None of them were Ram's character, unfortunately.
There is one way you could still guess if people want and not have that by saying who has a character somewhere. Yes, that is fair. You could give a list of who made a character. True.
That's a good one. Yeah.
We'll discuss that.
Yeah. You could use straw poll.
True.
So you make a straw poll of every.
Technically, you don't need to. Well, there's 7. No, yeah, we do. Because there's only 5 options in a poll.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to do straw.
There are actually quite a lot of people that should be in that poll. And a straw poll is infinite length. And
yeah.
Twitch
We'll figure it out.
5. And anyway, we may not even do that. We're just speculating
We'll
here.
figure it out. We'll decide at some point. Don't worry.
Yeah. In any case, I believe we're done here.
Yes.
We have said our thank yous.
Yes. Again, thank you. Actually, Holy, thank you for doing this together.
You're very welcome. Same back to you.
Don't reveal any of them after the stories. Don't make it go.
No.
Thank everyone so much for being here for this entire story.
Yes. Tips of hat.
Yes. I hope to see you in 3 weeks for our new story. That will then also reveal its name, because we have named that one already.
Thank you very much. I was hoping you wouldn't say the name.
I wasn't going to.
You will have to find out.
You will have to find out then.
Thank you also very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed as much as we did.
You really miss saying that.
I really miss saying it. Oh, I haven't been able to stream for so long.
And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.